Okay, today we're going to take a look at Prime Mover from Psygnosis from 1993. And wow, when I was just doing the preliminary check in the debugger, there's a lot of different tricks, maybe some of the most that I've seen yet. So it's a very cool game. Unfortunately, it's not that well known, so I thought I would play it for a second just so you can see what it looks like. I'll keep the sound on, but just be aware, as always with my computer, it sounds a little glitchy. So here we go. So it's very, very fast. So how's it all working? Well, here's a preview of the palette visualizer, and if you've seen my Lotus video, it's quite similar in some respects. There's 4 different colors though being changed by the copper instead of 3, and some other wild things happening, so it's going to take a while to break this all down. So what's very interesting is if you take off all the bit planes, look at that. You just have the copper and the sprites, and you've got pretty much half the game right here. It's pretty incredible. Look at this. So speaking of sprites, if we take all of those off and look at them individually, sprite 0 is half of the track and half of the byte. Sprite 1 attaches those sprites, so now it's 15 colors for the track and for the byte. Sprite 2 is the second half. Sprite 3 attaches those for 15 colors again, and then Sprite 4 is the third part of the map, and Sprite 5 finishes it off. So when it comes to the bit planes, things get quite confusing. If I put on the DMA, it might be a little hard to see, but this part of the screen up here, from here to here, is 5 bit planes, and then from here to here, it's 6 bit planes dual playfield, and then here to here, 5 bit planes again, and then the HUD down here 4-bit planes. This DMA, the yellow is copper, so it's copper all down the screen here. The pink is sprite, so here's the sprite up here, and this is the motorcycle sprite. The green all behind here is the glitter, which we'll get to in a minute. And yeah, and then these blue vertical lines show you the bit planes. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 bit planes up here, like I said, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here, back to 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 down here. So if we look at them in this section and take all the bit planes off, bit plane 0, 1, 2, and 3 make up the whole HUD down here, which is 16 colors. But then the odd thing is when you look at it in the palette visualizer, it's only using 8 colors. So I'm not sure why they didn't just make it 3 bit planes down here for 8 colors, but they made it 4. In the copper visualizer, you get a better sense of where things are split. So right here, it switches BBLCon 0 to 6601, which is dual playfield. So that's the whole city skyline here, all the way down to right here, where BBLCon 0 becomes 5601, so 5 bit planes. But then what gets even more confusing is that it looks like it switches it to 5 bit planes right where this black line is. But then if you click bit plane 0, 2, and 4, which should be the foreground of the dual playfield, you still get the correct colors for these signs right here. But half of this sign you see is below the black line, so it's only 5 bit planes. So take a look at the colors that make up this sign, and you've got the blue and the white and the gray. And with the palette visualizer, this area here is the dual playfield. So you've got 8 colors here for the foreground and then 7 colors here for the background. But what they did is they shared these 3 colors everywhere at the top. You can see the blue and the white and the gray, and it's here also and here. And what is odd too is that this part is 5 bit planes and this part is 5 bit planes, but 5 bit planes is supposed to be 32 colors. And up here is only 11 colors, and down here is only 11 colors. So it's essentially less than 4 bit planes of color, but it's in 5 bit planes. You can see again at the top here, BBLCon 0, 5601. So I'm not sure exactly why they limited it like that. It possibly was for speed reasons, or let me know in the comments what you think. One way you can get a sense of the dual playfield is that the foreground 0, 2, and 4 is here. If we switch it to 1, 3, and 5, which is the background, then you get all the correct colors for the skyline. But if you only put it into 5 bit planes, right, like this, then you don't get the correct colors for the skyline. You have to add bit plane 5. With all that coding mastery, they're able to maintain 50 frames per second all the time, which I think is the only racing game on the Amiga that was 50 frames per second. Even Lotus 2 is only 25 frames per second. It's also a nice size screen at 320 by 264. That includes the HUD down here, so the playable area up here is 320 by 190. So getting into the heart of the engine, the palette visualizer, like I showed earlier, gives you an idea of how it's all working. So I think the best way to explain it is to throw the copper visualizer over the palette visualizer. So down here it's doing similar things to Lotus 2, but again it has 4 different colors that it changes and not just 3. So the first one here is color 11, and you can see as you go down that it does yellow and then gray. So it's this one over here, and then just to throw in as an aside, this is color 11, but this is color 0, and if you go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, this is supposed to be color 10, but for some reason it's color 11. So this might be my most confusing video ever because these coders were on the next level. So anyways, these yellow ones are, if you go back to the game, they're the yellow line markings. And the second one here is color 10, and if you go down, you see it goes between red and white. So it's this one right here, which corresponds to the outer track lines, the red and white. And then the third one, color 9, if you go down, changes the grays, and that's the road stripes, dark gray, light gray. And finally, the last one is color 0. When you go down, different shades of green. So that's this one right here, and that does the grass on the outside of the track. And then what Prime Mover has that Lotus 2 doesn't is these areas. The purple is changing the bit plane pointers. Here it's BPL 4 and here BPL 2. And then it also changes BPL Con 1, the bit plane playfield horizontal scroll values. So let's see this all together, switching back and forth between everything. So here you've got everything moving. And then if you take it off, this is what it's moving with the copper visualizer. So if I just hold it here on color 10, for example, as the road moves up and down, it's changing all the time. And if you saw that blue overpass fly by, that's this. Watch it go here. So that's one of my favorite things in this game. It's just the copper. Such an ingenious thing to do. So without the bit planes, watch it here. So cool. So let's see how that was done. Right here in the copper visualizer, you can see that it changes color 0 all the way down. But a lot of times up in this section, color 0 is just black. But watch what it does here. It's another sense of wizardry. So if you go back to the DMA, it's actually adding a new wrinkle. You've got the 5 bit planes up here, then the dual playfield 6, and then 5 again right there just for this little bit, and then back to 6 and back to 5. So this little 5 section will expand if I play it. Right there, you can see the same thing happen in the copper visualizer. Right here, BPL Con 5601. It actually has a bit plane modulo also. And right here, it goes back to 6-bit planes. So watch it expand when I play it. Nice. So that creates the illusion of the overpass, just with the copper. And here it is with the palette visualizer. Boom. And then on top of everything, we've got the glitter visualizer. You can see right here that it's blending in the whole screen and then also the side rolled objects. If you take the bit planes off, you can see the bobs very clearly. Here in the Spain level, we get a double awning. Check this out. Nice. Here it is with the copper visualizer. And here it is with the palette visualizer. Look at that. It's got like 3 sections. Now they're just showing off. Here in Sweden, we've got rain and we've got lightning. Boom. So I thought they might have maxed out their sprites by using 6 for the motorcycle and the track, because it's 320 wide. So usually that means that you lose some sprites. But if you take the sprites off right now, there goes the rain. So it actually is sprite number 6. It's not sprite number 7. So it looks like they only lost 1 sprite. So when it's moving like this, if I take the sprites off, there you go, no rain. So with the palette visualizer, let's watch out for the lightning. It should come over here at color 0. So there it is, all at color 0. It's interesting if I try the copper block on this level. If you have it up here, you can only see the 2 trees right now. But if you bring it down, it changes the colors here. And then the cool part is when you get to the road. So watch if I go real slow on the road, it shows, whoa, it's almost like a 3D effect. as it paints the road. Here's the DMA stats for you to look at. The France level is very pretty. And look, it goes up to 70 colors. I didn't realize till now what really sells the overpass effect is the shadows below it. Look at that. So this game is really awesome. I'm not usually the biggest racing game fan, but I was really getting into it, like leaning into the curves and everything. Just the sense of speed is really fun. I think I'm figuring out that I like motorcycle racing games the best because I like No Second Prize back in the day and Super Hang On. And this one I really got into. And it's a masterclass in coding by Hans Hansen. So shout out to him. Very technically excellent. The only other game he coded for the Amiga was Ultimate Pinball Quest, which I hadn't heard of. I checked out a long play and it's kind of cool. It's kind of more of a Devil's Crush style than simulation. So thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and comment. Till next time, take care.